Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a songwriter, musician, producer, and audio engineer from Stockholm, the beautiful capital of Sweden. He's also a brand new dad. Well, 3 days now, he's a brand new dad of a little girl named Elma. So, congratulations and welcome, Jon Magnusson. Hello.
Hello, Annie. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, are you sleep deprived?
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sleep deprived. That's correct.
And
I
it's
slept maybe 3 hours.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, John. So she was born New Year's Day.
Yes, at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, nice. She was just about a New Year's Eve baby. But she's a brand new baby for the brand new year. And what a way to start off 2018. You're a brand new dad. This is your first.
Yes, and she was expected in the end of January, so it was a bit of a shock.
Oh, wow. Well, at least she's home and she's healthy and everything's going well, besides the
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah,
That'll get better. I'm so excited
yeah,
for you. I miss having babies. Now let's talk about your music because that's
yeah.
why we're here.
Yes,
Now, basically, it's plain folk, but you touch it up with rock and punk influences and occasionally jazzy beats thrown in just to keep everybody on their toes. And it's absolutely beautiful. And the lyrics you write are wonderful. We're going to talk about the two songs that you we're putting up on my website. And one of them, I know what it's all about just from listening to it. So we'll talk about that. But first off, John, tell me your journey. When did this all start for you?
I actually started playing keyboard when I was like 7 years old, 8 years old. Because in Sweden we have a municipality musical school that is more or less free for everyone to participate in. So then I started to play keyboard, and I started to play guitar when I was 14. Um, and I've been writing songs since I was like 17 or something like that. And I recorded some stuff before, but I have been more serious the last year or so, when I really been putting in some more effort to actually get somewhere in my career.
Uh-huh. Well, you're doing very well. Like I said, I love your music. The
Thank you.
not I mean, the lyrics and your singing is beautiful. The instruments in the songs are amazing. I could listen to them over and over and over. They take you somewhere else, and that's what music's supposed to do. So
Yeah,
you're
that's my intention.
yeah, and you're doing exceptionally well. Now, I mean, obviously you write about what you know and what you've experienced, which I'm finding most songwriters do, and it's just weird how it relates to everybody, but we all go through the same emotions. Um, is that like all of your music is personal experiences?
Not all of it. I don't have so much of a plan when I write a song. Like uh, most often, I get like a melody line and a line of lyrics in my head, and then I find out what the theme of the song is. So some of them are written in first person, and some are written in third person. So it's quite different.
Okay, so it's a mixture,
Yeah,
which is awesome. I can't. I've tried writing songs when I was younger. I'm not good at it at all. Like at all. So to have that imagination and to be able to pull on that is just it boggles my mind. It just I mean, obviously it intrigues me because I could talk to musicians every day. Well, I do, pretty much.
yeah, I know.
Um, Now, talk about the instrumentation in your songs. Like, is that all of you, or is that how do you do all that?
In the last EP I did, I recorded guitar and mostly guitar and vocals are my own. Then I program drums and bass, and also some synths like piano and organ. I play it, but I'm not a good keyboard. Even though I started with keyboard, I'm not a good keyboard player. So I find out the melody line on keyboard and then I see it on the computer to make it sound good.
Wow, that is so cool. It's so cool technology nowadays that you can
Yeah.
actually, have drums and guitar and piano and keyboard right at your fingertips. I would be lost. I have a hard enough time doing this and doing my website. I would not be able to do any of it. So hats off to you because it must, like, I mean, well, you're an audio engineer, and a producer, so it must be a lot easier for you than I would imagine somebody that's never even touched it before.
No, but I couldn't do your thing, so it's meant to its own.
I guess, yeah, everybody's got their own talent. I don't think mine's a talent. I just talk to people. It's pretty easy.
It
Um,
happened.
what is the music scene like in Stockholm?
Actually, I don't know that much because most of my interactions are online, and that's where we met. That's where I like we have a lot of common friends on the like on Twitter and Facebook.
Uh-huh.
So I actually more aware of the online scene than I am of the local scene in Stockholm.
Okay. And that's like talking about technology and social media. That is where we met. And we have a bunch of crazy friends that are all in the
Yeah,
industry and some that are just in like intrigued by it, just like me. And I mean we have a lot of fun and it's all fun. And it's so weird and I say this every interview. When I talk to people on Twitter as much as I talk to you and everybody else and Gongle and the whole shebang, it's like I'm friends with them. Like you create a relationship with them online.
yeah, definitely. I went to the UK this summer and met a lot of them in person, and it was like we had known each other for like forever. Like I played a gig with Bertie White and Izzy Finn. I think you know both of them.
Yes, I do. That
Yeah,
that is very cool. I want to go meet them. I don't know if I ever will,
yeah,
but I want to go meet all. I want to go
that's
everywhere.
yeah.
And they keep telling
And I
me, "Go ahead."
yeah, and I actually just met them through Music Hour UK. So
Hmm.
that's the reason why we got together and played the gig.
That is so cool. That is, I mean, that is, and I mean, it's such a, one of the things I love about the indie world is everybody is there for everybody. Everybody helps out everybody. Everybody's friends with everybody. It's just a very, even though it's huge, it's a small community. You know what I mean?
It is like when I found you on Facebook, I think we had like 10 friends in common or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. And I'm finding that with everybody. It's just, it's cool. I absolutely love it. Because then I get to discover you guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like all the rest of you that maybe I haven't heard. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, it's fun. I have a lot of fun talking to all of you, and listening to all of your music. I mean, I'm a music buff from the time I was born, and then being in radio for 18 years. I love being able to do this my way because I get to hear all about you and your journey and your music, and I get to discover new music daily. So it's just,
amazing.
yeah, I'm in my glory, trust me. Now, like I said, I'm finding a lot of people aren't going out and gigging anymore. They are doing it all online, which is a complete change from when I was growing up because that's basically you went to concerts.
Yeah,
Now you go online and you listen and discover. And sometimes I've watched concerts on Facebook Live
yeah.
or on
I
like
did some of them actually.
yeah, and it's just so cool that you can do that. And it's wonderful because then you get to see the artist as well and see them how they do everything or how they sound live, which is completely different than when you actually record everything. So I think,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a more rounded vision of the artist and I love it. I love that you can do that. Social media is the way to go. If you're not on social media, like you're crazy.
yeah. Then you have to be really really good
Yeah.
if you get somewhere without social media.
That is true. Although, you know what? I don't know if you can sense it, and anybody else in the indie world. It seems like it's starting to shift. I mean, I know when I was in radio, we were only allowed to have artists that were, top 50 or whatever on iTunes or Billboard or wherever the case may be. And we couldn't play independent music. We couldn't interview like I do. We had like a set list of questions that we had to ask, and that was it. So I'm finding now there's more indie radio stations, there's more indie labels, there's more people doing like what I'm doing with podcasts and stuff like that. Can you feel the shift? I think we're getting really tired of hearing the same sounding artists all the time when you turn
Yeah,
on the radio.
yeah, definitely. Like, I think 95% of the new music I discovered last year was through social media and the independent artists, and the songs are a lot better than the stuff that are playing on mainstream radio. So it's like two sides. Like there is a really big independent scene, but it's quite small, and the mainstream, like, people are so lazy, and like the technique could promote independent music much better than it really does. It's like if you go on Spotify, like I had Spotify for 10 years, and in the beginning you had to search for everything and make your own playlists. Now you get the top 50, the most listened songs in the whole world. That's what all people see, the first thing they see when they open Spotify.
Hmm.
And it's so all the music is there, but the big companies has way too much control over what's actually promoted on the platform.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I feel a shift. I hope it happens.
Yeah,
Because like I said, I would love to have, I mean, everybody I interview, I absolutely fall in love with their music. And it's just every song and every artist is so different. Whereas you turn on the radio and you're listening to, a young guy sing and then another young guy sings and you have to like look it up to make sure that it's not the same guy. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
just, yeah, it's weird.
and it's probably the same guy who wrote it. I think there are two people. One of them is Swedish that writes almost all the top 40 songs in the world.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, one is Max Martin from Sweden, and then there is, I don't remember the other guy,
Wow.
but he writes so much, so it's no surprise that all the songs sounds the same.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, even the artists sound the same. I watch The Voice religiously, and I pray for them to pick somebody that is different. And they did this year. They picked somebody that reminds me of Stevie Nicks and Bonnie Raitt and Kim Carnes. And like, I was very surprised that she won. I can honestly say, because she was such a black sheep. She was kind of like, I can't even explain it, but yeah, I was surprised she won. But it just shows that the world's ready for change. So
Yeah,
it was nice to see, and I'm so glad that it's slowly starting to happen. Um, Now, Jon, like you said, you've just been putting yourself like in this and immersing yourself in your music in the last little while, but you have been kind of involved for years. So if you had any kind of advice to give any of these new artists that are starting out or are out there right now, what kind of advice would you give them?
I changed your mindset that it's not a competition. It's all about like cooperation and supporting each other. Like I'm not a big fan of all these voting contests. That's mostly about which artist can get the most people to vote,
Mm-hmm.
so forth. I think it's a lot more about networking, meeting other artists, make collaborations, uh, get to know, like, we got to know each other through social media, so get to know other artists, radio people, bloggers. Um, yeah, it's all about relationships,
Yeah,
actually.
definitely. And it should be all about the music, basically.
Yeah,
Making beautiful
exactly.
music. Yeah. And I think too, we need it now. We need it now more than ever. I mean, I'm a 70s music buff, like crazy, crazy, love the 70s because the lyrics they mean something and
Yeah,
the instruments are amazing and the artists are like larger than life. But at the end of the day, they all come together in the 70s for protests and for, peace and love. And we need that now.
yeah, I agree.
It's a crazy world we live in, and I honestly think if they pumped good soft music throughout the entire world, everybody'd calm down.
Yeah,
Donald Trump needs a new Spotify list.
yeah, I can make him one.
Yes, so can I. Let's
Yeah,
collaborate on that.
I'm making one for my daughter, so I can send him a copy.
Oh, yeah, that might calm him right down. That's a great
Yeah,
idea. So anybody that's out there listening, if you want to start like making lists for Donald Trump and any other crazy leaders in this world, like please do so and send them to them. I doubt they'll listen, but it's worth a try. Like really, we got
yeah,
to do something. I mean, I would love to start a protest about, bringing peace and love back into this world and less guns and less news. I mean, we need more music and less news. News just perpetuates the violence that's in this world and it bothers me. And
he's not watching the news. It
yeah,
doesn't give anything.
I don't watch it either. And I mean, especially you with a new daughter. I mean, when like I have a daughter and grandkids and it scares me sometimes. I'm like, "Oh my God, what are they going to be living in when I'm like no longer here? What's the world going to be like if the world's even still standing?"
Yeah,
And
so
yeah, I think more people need to listen to music. Um what two songs are we going to hear from you, John?
we're gonna hear "Ode to a Friend" and "Your Dreams."
Now let's talk about Ode to a Friend. I'll tell you what my personal take is on it, and then you can tell me if I'm right. It sounds like it's a song for somebody that passed too soon and wasn't able to get their voice heard.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
is that personal or is that third person?
that's personal. Actually, it was one of my best friends from I don't know how to translate it to English, but like junior high, and from I think we went to the same class since first grade, and he passed away when we were 15 years. So it's really personal.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry for your loss. That is so sad. And what about your dreams?
That song is actually more abstract. Like I wanted to write a kind of political song, but since nowadays everything is so polarized, I don't want to be too much of like riding people on the nose what to think or what to believe in. So I wanted to make a song that is political, but that you can interpret and like interpret in your own way.
Hmm.
So it can be both personal struggle or political struggle or whatever.
Well, it's a very good, both of the
So
songs are amazing. And like I said, I love the instruments in them, along with your voice and the lyrics. Now, you can buy all of John's music online as well as his website, jonmagnusson.se. That's going to be up on my website. You can just click on it and it'll take you right to his website. John, I want to say thank you so much for coming on, sleep deprived after just having a brand new baby
yeah,
girl. Congratulations
yeah.
again to you and your wife. I
Thank
wish
you
you
very
all
much.
the best and give Alma a little kiss for me. And thank you so
Well,
much. Thank you for coming on.
yeah, I had a great time. Have a great afternoon in the US. I think it is.
No,
So it's
Canada.
half past. No, Canada.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I will. You too. And get some sleep, or at least try to.
yeah, I will.
Okay,
Take care.
and thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic. Keep checking my website because you never
I
know what kind of surprises you'll find in my attic. Cheers!
Cheers.